About what I thought. I thought I knew what I was getting into. I knew when I was putting together a staff, a roster. I, I would to say that I envisioned 2-9. I did not. I envisioned we would be a little cleaner team at this point. But I've coached a long time, studied this game a long time. I knew that every week in, week out, you're facing the best players on the planet. But I thought we'd be a little cleaner by this point, certainly on offense.
What has been the biggest challenge? Is it the manipulation of the roster, the game plan? What's been the
injuries are they're just awful. Just awful, especially when you're. A year ago we lacked big plays. We were lacking big plays, and you're trying to create big plays because it's the discipline to march down the field is very rare. That's been when DJ went down, you're like, okay, then Etienne goes down, and then then Agnew goes down, and you're just trying to find that spark on offense. I kind of last week, I actually talked to some of the leaders today about the vision of the offense. I thought last week was kind of what it was. It's we're running the ball. I think we're 13th in the league in rush offense, and that's even when we abandon the run at times we get behind. So I think and that's with the running back. That's our best running back has been dinged up for quite a while. That's a tough injury, and if James wasn't as tough he was, he wouldn't be playing. He wouldn't be playing. Most running backs would not be playing. So it's a long answer.
One quick follow-up: the read zones that you did 4 of them with Trevor this past Sunday.
Did a lot more than that.
Well, I think it was 4. He only had 5
4
carries.
that he actually ran on.
5 carries.
But when
anyway.
they hand the ball, it's also read zone, so it's read.
My point being, now that you've shown this on tape more this week than any other week, how do you feel like do you think you've given defenses really something to think about and that it could be more effective?
Well, I think that it's a two-edged sword. Once we're actually really good at it. I think we average 7 yards per carry on the play. And it's not just when he pulls it, it's the handoffs too. So I want to say we ran it probably 10, 12 times in the game. Teams are going to take it away, so you have to have complementary football to it, whatever that may be, whether it be naked, whether it be passes, whether it be, something out the front end of the offense. So those are all things that come with that. We were also very good under center, actually, in the run game last week. So our strength of our team is run game. And when we get into a second and you're first and goal on the 6, you go down to the 2-3 yard line. Next thing you know, you're on the first and goal on the 16. It's not the same. You get a twitch, someone twitches, and all of a sudden you're back first and 15. That's not the same as first and 10, second and 4, second and 5. Just the, Earl Bruce to say offensive football is a 10-yard war. Win each battle. It's a you don't win the war, you win those battles along the way. And we looked at it as just a 10-yard. Get those 10 yards, okay? Then line up and go again.
Yeah, now that you looked at the film a little bit more, maybe since you talked to us on Monday, to the up-tempo situation,
80% efficient.
Than you thought, and
yeah, much more efficient. Players, really our quarterbacks lived in that I like it. I like to change tempos on people, and I think we did it 18 times in the game. It was very efficient for us. Once again, teams will be more prepared for it. It's a two-edged sword I just told you about. You run a lot of zone read, you better have the complements off it. If you run up-tempo, you better be prepared for some kind of pressure now. So it's this. So we got to be ready. But it was very successful for us.
Monday you called the Rams an all-star team before you'd even dug in on them. Now that you've dug in, how much more?
just capitalize it and underline it, and then put that exclamation point.
Just
The guy I didn't mention is the other D end. His name escapes me right now. It's Von Miller and the other guy.
Oh, Aaron Donald.
No, Aaron Donald.
No.
He's a great player. He's a great player. I understand he came from Chicago there, but now that I watched him, Floyd is the deal. About as good as the other one. So this all-star team got to get the ball out, got to have answers for it.
But if my math is correct, Matthew Stafford was at Georgia when you were at Florida. What have you seen from him from when you were coaching against him then to where he is now?
I just love the guy. He's a competitor. We compete against each other. I'll never forget this one time. That game, there's 200,000 people outside, 80,000 inside, and just nuts. And top 5 teams going against each other. I remember he ran right in front of me and got hit out of bounds, and I was like, focused on what I was doing. He gets up and runs right by me and kind of gives me that look and then an ear-to-ear smile, and I just always remind him about that. He's a competitor that has fun playing a game.
Are there some similarities, you think, to Trevor's ceiling, what Trevor can do in this league, and what Matthew
I
Stafford?
think they're different players, but I see the same ceiling to answer your question, which I don't think Stafford's reached his ceiling. I think most people agree with that. And Trevor certainly, I'm not sure you can see his ceiling right now.
You mentioned those player leadership committee, those meetings about the offense. Do players go as far to say, hey, coach, I want the offense to look like this, or what are those meetings like?
Yeah, we had one today. We had a great one today. Our defense has gone from 25th in the league to 6th. Our offense after was a nice trajectory going, and then we got in a touchdown void where we weren't scoring points, and so you keep adapting to your personnel. You've been a little fluidity at wide receiver with trying guys out. I mean, I can't remember how many weeks in a row on, okay, we got a tryout. Tryout for what? And you go and and they're great dudes. I mean, Treadwell's, you name a guy playing harder in the NFL than Laquan Treadwell. Tavon Austin, John Brown had some injuries that didn't work out, and just the lack of consistency. But yeah, it depends on what kind of I've had leadership committees everywhere I've been. It depends on the locker room and the guys. All I can tell you is my opinion of our locker room has never changed. Fantastic, and my expectations never change. That I expect us to be the best coached team in the NFL. We're not. I expect us to compete and win every game. We're not. I'm not going to change, and so we just got to keep pushing.
The conversation, if any, I'm curious about Jalen Ramsey. What has the conversation been about him in this building?
Oh, I asked the questions. I'd like to have him. Like I said, I've known, Jalen doesn't know me, but I've known him for a long, long time because of just my Gator connection, and I like watching great players. And when he left here, I was like, I wasn't following it that close. I was like, what in the world? So we're so busy. I see what I see on videotape, and if he's not one, he's 1A.
You get a sense that players who are playing against their former team, even at this level, have a little extra juice?
I've had a couple of guys say that to me over the last several weeks. This is the team that cut me. This is the team that, great, go attack, man.
Have you heard any of the players mention Jalen and playing against him at all? Obviously, it's a pretty different roster.
I've not been around. We've actually been off. So Monday we come in and we have a team meeting, and then they go and then they're out. Yesterday they're off, so today I'm around them a lot.
What do you like about what you scouted them on tape? So what's stand out to you about Jalen?
Competitive spirit, number one. He gets really upset when something doesn't go right, and some people don't like that. I love that. We have a guy called Rudy Ford like that. He gets very upset when things don't. Now you got to contain that, and I call focused energy on the next play. Competitor number one, then skill set, which is normally a great player. Competitor number one, skill set number two.
That defense they play where you kind of hide them inside. Look like he's playing nickel, but what do you feel about that?
It's a pattern match. It's actually a zone defense, but they pattern match you, and then at times they'll play man, but they're a pattern match team, and that just means you're man through your zone type thing. And they do move them, and he's really effective at where they got him at that nickel spot, but they'll put him outside too.
How much of a measuring stick could this be for your offensive line, just considering the guys they have up front?
This is it. I thought the Cardinals we had great respect, obviously, when Von Miller was with the Broncos and the Titans. I can list them all. But this is the best one.
Did Arizona kind of set the blueprint on how to beat them? I mean, 49ers, sorry. 49ers 2 or 3 weeks ago, was it on Monday Night Football? They ran and ran.
Controlled the game. That was obviously the 49ers' best game, and they're continuing. But that's a blueprint.
So for you guys, knowing that that's the blueprint, knowing James isn't 100%, how do you beef up that backfield to do what San Francisco did?
We've invested in Carlos, and he's kind of an unsung guy that's actually had a decent year. You got to take care of the ball. That's the number one thing. Whoever carries that thing's got to take care of the ball. And then, LaVisca's a guy that we continually try to get more involved. Not real successfully right now, but we're trying to get him more involved.
Is Aaron Allen as good as you've seen?
Yeah, yes, I see.
Is just, I mean, the physical skills, but is it the motor as much as?
Yeah, it's the same with Jalen Ramsey. If you can ask me what makes Tom Brady, what makes Josh Allen, it's number one is competitive maniacs, and he's a tenacious player. You know, I think he's only 285, but he plays 330. You know, he's a big, powerful, strong guy.
Do you have a lot of competitive maniacs on this team? We need more?
Yeah, we need more, but yeah, certainly I can start listing them, and you can see the guys playing well. Yeah, I got a guy like Adam Gotsis, absolute maniac competitor. But I think that's the common denominator of a championship team. I know it is.
For you guys leaving Friday, correct me if I'm wrong, for LA, what did you learn taking the road trip to Seattle? Maybe you won't do differently this time.
Obviously, we didn't play well. We had penalties, so we were going to address all that. But I'm not there yet. You know, still trying to get through a good Wednesday.
You have visions for what Jacksonville and this is going to look like and be like. Do you go to a place like LA where they didn't have great fan support before, but you go in there with some, maybe I'm going to take some ideas on the stadium and some of the stuff they're doing?
I'm not there yet, but that's duly noted.
Do you expect Shaq Griffin will be back this week?
It's day to day. We don't know yet. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.